We are all Satoshi. Yes, we are. I love that statement, man. Because it's true, we're all Satoshis. When you're stacking these sats, it just makes you feel invincible. You know what I mean? And the sacrifice this man or these people made for us is incredible, man. And I'll never take that for granted. And I'll always be grateful for it. I really will. What is up, guys? It is Saturday, November 1st, 2025. That is the Bitcoin block height. That is the Bitcoin price today. And most importantly, that, my friends, is how many Satoshis you could get for $1. My goodness, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Satoshi Saturday, the official Satoshi Saturday. I believe I'm the only one that does this. And we are up to episode number 90. Get your monthly budget prepared, or get your monthly budget ready. And I got to tell you, man, I do this every single month, and I've been doing this for years. But before I get started, I want to give a special shout out to my boy, my nephew, Anonymous, from the Backpacker Fanny Packer family. Now, you've seen in the last couple of weeks with Hodler, BTC Hodler, and BTC Flipper in my videos. Anonymous is not with me. They're back home in Idaho. Idaho. And today is his birthday. November 1st is his birthday. He turned 14 years old today. So I wanted to wish him a very happy birthday. And I told him when he was at my house, what a good kid he is, man. He really is. They did a great job with him, man. And I tell you, man, I don't have a son. I do have a grandson. And if he turns out like Anonymous, I'll be very, very happy. So again, man, I love you, Anonymous. Enjoy your day. Happy birthday, man. And congratulations on being such a good young man and knowing what you know about Satoshis already, man. And many, many more to you, man. We love you, brother. But I want to talk to you about having a monthly budget. Because last month, myself, I didn't do too well. Let's just say I spent a lot of dollars on things I shouldn't have. So I'm getting my monthly budget right. Now, let me say this real quick, right? We always talk about, on Satoshi Saturdays, we're always talking about Satoshis and, you know, the dollar being broken and everything else, which is true, right? But we do need to have some financial literacy, even in the old system, right? Because that's what I do. My background is finance. I went to school for finance. And I learned from Robert Kiyosaki. He said this in a book or a talk. He said, if you want to be a doctor, you go to school to learn about how to be a doctor, right? You go to medical school. So if you want to be a lawyer, you go to law school. If you want to be a cook, you know, you learn culinary and stuff like that. And he said, if you want to be rich, you got to learn about money. And you got to take finance class and accounting classes. And that's what I did. I took that to heart. And I did that. The problem is when I was in college, because I did a 2+2, I did a 2-year with associate's degree, and then I went on to try to get a bachelor's degree, and I did not finish my bachelor's. I did not get a finance degree. I believe I have a liberal arts degree at the associate's level. I don't know where it is. My dad had that degree. Yeah, I think it was that. But I didn't finish. And the reason I didn't finish is because I didn't like the way and what the system was doing. I just didn't like it. It was not, you know, because I wanted to be a personal financial advisor. That's my passion. I wanted to sit down with people and help them with their budgets and everything else. And once I not figured it out, but once I kind of figured out or semi-figured out the scam, which was the system that we're in, I just said, man, I don't want to be telling people to buy stocks and bonds and diversify your portfolios and stuff like that. My thing was real estate. I really, really loved real estate. But what I did was, and I learned this from my grandmother, I had a really good financial teacher, because again, you know, they say knowledge is power. It is. Applied knowledge is even more powerful. But what's even more powerful than that? Because my grandmother wasn't the smartest lady in the world, but she was very wise. Very, very wise. Actually, my grandmother could, if I remember correctly, she could barely read. I mean, she could read, you know what I mean? But she wasn't like, because she was from the deep South. And back then, you know, reading wasn't a big deal. And she was, you know, she was just a worker. She used to work in the cotton fields. And she didn't need to go to school and, you know, do all that stuff. She was just working. You know what I mean? She went to school, but she wasn't, you know, the education level that she afforded me to have, right? But I remember one thing she was good at was money. You know, the money of the old system, the fiat money. And she was something else, man. She made something out of nothing, okay? This woman, oh, look at this here. What are they doing over here? There's a lot of noise over here, but look at this. Halloween just passed yesterday, and my neighbor has got his stuff up here. Somebody's cleaning over here. So I'm gonna try to get through this noise. They're cleaning out the garage or something. So she was a master at making something out of nothing, and she just really knew how to budget. She had a really good job, but my grandmother grew up poor. She really grew up poor. So when she moved, she was from the South, so when she moved up to upstate New York, where I was raised, she ended up getting a really good job. Her first job she got was a cleaning job, and then the second in a hotel. And then that was her temporary job. And then she ended up getting a career at Kodak. And she made a ton of money in comparison to what she normally makes. And for her, she was kind of like, even though she was, you know, she lived in a nice neighborhood, and we didn't live in the best neighborhood, but compared to where she was raised before, it was a good neighborhood. She knew how to live below her means, and she knew how to stretch her money. She was really good at that. And she always had a monthly budget. And I remember my grandmother had like a ledger on a piece of paper. It wasn't, you know, it's before computers and all this other stuff. And she would write down everything, how much the food would cost, the mortgage, the gas, everything, all the bills, right? All the utilities. And she had it down to a penny. And when I tell you she had it down to a penny, my grandmother was a penny pincher, okay? Now, she had some nice things and stuff like that, but she was a great budgeter, man. She didn't waste no money, because again, she knew the value of a dollar back then, right? And she taught me that. And then she never sat me down and showed me how to do it, but she did sometimes when I would be looking at what she was doing. She would do that at the beginning or the end of every month. And because through the process of osmosis, I learned watching what my grandma did and not what she said. That's how you learn, just watching how people do things. I started doing those things in my 20s, and I've continued to do that, and I've done that for 20 something years, almost 30 years now, and it's helped me, you know. But even me, sometimes I fall off and stuff. But I tell you guys all the time, I'm doing the 80-20 situation, where 80% of my money goes to bills and Bitcoin, and the other 20% goes to fun things, and so does my time. 80 working in Bitcoin, the other 20% fun. Sometimes I do variances, different variances of that, but now I'm going to tighten the screws a little bit, because I got a feeling that Bitcoin is about to take off. And as I showed you in the beginning of this video, how many Satoshis you can get for $1. And just as a reminder, guys, when Bitcoin hits $1 million, right? $1 million, you're only going to get 100 Satoshis for that same dollar. And look how many you can get today, like we said in the beginning of this video. I'm kind of combining this video with the two videos I did with BTC Hodler and BTC Flipper, because Hodler talked about, are you stacking hard enough?
If nobody in your life has showed you active disdain, you're not stacking hard enough. If you are still invited to a family Thanksgiving, you're not stacking hard enough. If you're made fun of for brown bagging your lunch, you're not stacking hard enough.
And Flipper talked about Buckaroo Salute.
And I just want to say good morning to all of you, and have a great day, and keep on stacking those sats. Buckaroo Salute.
And it's the same thing. You got to get down to the buck or to the penny. How many sats today can you get for a penny today? You know, that's how many sats you can get for a penny today. Obviously not as many as you can get for $1, you know, per cent per dollar, because you have to pay the fees and stuff, but still you can get a few for a penny. And then Hodler asks again, are you stacking hard enough?
If your car is younger than Bitcoin, you're not stacking hard enough. If somebody hasn't called you a retard in your life, you're not stacking hard enough. You're just not not stacking hard enough.
And I had to ask myself that. So I put myself on a strict budget for the month of November. Very, very strict. Like my grandmother did, down to the penny. And I have different ways to get as many Satoshis as I can within my abilities and my power. But the first thing you got to do is you got to earn as much as you can. Step one, earn as much as you can, right? Have multiple streams of income. Don't look at fiat currency like it's bad. It is compared to Bitcoin, but that's your key and that's your way to get these Satoshis. You got to have cuck bucks to get them, okay? And get as many as you can. That's number one. Earn as much as you can. And like my grandmother, spend less. So you earn more and you spend less. Now, back in my fiat days, I used to tell the people I would sit down with one-on-one, I used to tell them, earn more, spend less, invest the rest. Well, today, buying Satoshis is the easiest play in the world because you're working from outside the system we're in today. And what's this system? It's a money printing system, a money debasement system, where you lose your value of your currency. So you're constantly trying to, quote unquote, invest your money to keep up with the money supply. So what do? You're buying different stocks and bonds, and some people buy real estate. You're trying to buy all these different things to invest in. But when you understand Satoshis and what Bitcoin is, you don't have to do that anymore. I was talking to a friend earlier and I'm just like, my life is so easy right now. I used to always constantly think about what to buy and what can I make money with and blah, 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 blah. And I still do that. I still want to earn more. You know, I want to put my cash into something, get some more back, and then buy some more Satoshis. But the thing is, my life is on easy mode right now. Remember that Staples commercial, the easy button? That's what Satoshis are. You just press that button and everything's easy when it comes to finances. All I have to do now is earn more, spend less, and put the rest into Bitcoin and buy Satoshis. That's it. Here's what I'm challenging you to do. And if you're doing this, I want to get you to step your game up a little bit. I challenge you guys to make a monthly budget. Today is November 1st. You may be watching this on the 2nd or 3rd, but today is the 1st when I'm recording this. And I challenge you to write down a strict, airtight budget for you and your family. Seriously, write down every single penny that you got coming in, and then write everything you have, the bills that you have, the fixed bills that you have coming in, and then see if those things are really things that you really need. You know, the Netflixes and all this other stuff. You obviously got to pay your mortgage and your rent. You got to buy food, but there's a way to get it cheaper. You got to pay utilities. Again, you can do those things and earn some sats as well. I got a link down below with the Fold card. You can use that card and not only pay your bills with that, but you'll earn not points, but you'll earn sats just for paying your bills. So check that out down below. But make an airtight budget and then see what you got left over. Then what you got to do is these two things. Figure out how you can earn more, side hustles, working overtime, selling the stuff that you have, whatever. And then figure out ways to cut out the fat, spending less. So I challenge you to do that today. Sit down seriously and take time to do it and constantly go over and over. I'm looking at my budget on my phone, have it on my notepad. I look at it probably 10 times a day, trying to figure out where I can make some more, I can spend less. If there was a certain thing that I was gonna buy and I didn't buy, just put it in Satoshis. Because remember, you can get that many for $1 today, and even down to the penny or a dime, you're gonna get so many Satoshis. Because again, once we hit $1 million Bitcoin, it's gonna be much harder to get 100 sats. I buy every hour on the hour. I use Strike. I have a link below to use that. And I do that because I want to see how many Satoshis I can get for that $1, like I said in the past videos. So again, make a budget, be strict on it, and make sure you focus on how many Satoshis you can get. Look at your Satoshis, like I said in episode 2 of my Satoshi Saturday series. Look at your Satoshis like dollars. You are getting the hardest money in the world, units of money in the world, for pennies on pennies on pennies on the dollar right now. It's so cheap, you have no idea unless you studied. So do that. Look at everything and figure out how many sats you can get. Make a goal of how much money you're gonna save, dollars you're gonna save, and how you're gonna turn those dollars into Satoshis. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And again, guys, this is the Bitcoin gold rush. We're in it, you know what I mean? This is the 1st of the month, wake up. And this is, we got 2 months left in this year. We're in the fourth quarter. We're 1/3 through the fourth quarter of the year. And 2025 is flying by, man. So do something every single day to get as many sats as you can and learn as much as you can. Earn more, spend less, put the rest in sats, and work your ass off. You guys know that. Because again, there's going to be one day you're not going to be able to buy these Satoshis. You're going to have to work for them. And I think you guys know that. And the people that have actually studied, they pretty much understand and know that. And since you do know that, do you and your family a favor. And please, Lord, let these people heed these words. Stack Satoshis today. Today, guys. So that you and your family don't have to work for those exact same Satoshis tomorrow. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.